Hello there, dear viewer. My name is Colm, and with me at this time is the sexual Adam Cook. Adam, how are you?
That seems wholly inappropriate for the game we're talking about, but I'm fine, thank you.
It really does. Because we're talking about a game that doesn't really contain much sexuality. That's LittleBigPlanet 3, the fifth kind of main platformer game.
Yeah, we're not counting the karting one, really.
No, we're not. Adam, I would consider myself quite a big fan of the LittleBigPlanet series. I played all of them bar the PSP one, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of them.
Yeah, me too.
Is this different in any way, or is it much of the same? Oh, it is different.
I think it's the best one, which I feel really weird saying, because it's the first one that Media Molecule aren't doing. Yes. And it feels very strange to say this, but I think it's the best one, and even stranger, I think it has the best level design. There are moments in this that I think approach almost Nintendo level design, and that's massive praise.
Okay, right. Do elaborate on the actual level design. How is it improved over previous titles?
I think it's the ebb and flow. I mean, there's a space level. Quite reasonably early on, where you are going in and out of almost the space station, but not. Don't think like Alien Isolation. This is just a platform game. It's just LittleBigPlanet as you know it. But
no, just LittleBigPlanet Alien Isolation. Make it happen, someone.
Well, yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
But no,
do go on.
You basically you're doing stuff inside, and then there's like an exit which you jump outside of, and it goes into 0G, and it's almost imagine you're swimming, as it were, because you're in 0G and you're just using the stick to literally float around, and you have to do puzzles out there to open up the next section that lets you into the ship again the other side, and it just has this brilliant ebb and flow about it, and that carries through to the three new characters, which all play quite differently, albeit with a fundamental that's still a platformer, well, actually, apart from Swoop, because he flies.
If you're playing this single player, can you change to any of these on the fly?
No.
You can't.
No, and that's something that I think is a little bit at odds, because I find it weird that so basically you unlock these characters. You're Sackboy, and there is like a huge hub level, and there are missions within that hub level that take you off to other levels, and there are bonus levels within the hub level. And so, for example, to unlock the first character, I've completely forgotten the name of the sock one, the dog one, essentially.
Oddsock,
thank you. Yeah, Oddsock. I have played this loads and I've forgotten his name. But Oddsock, yeah. To unlock him, you have to find these 3 marbles, and there's one in each of the levels. So you're in a hub world where the 3 marbles eventually go to. You have to go off, complete a level, which is really different, and then you complete the next level, which is the space one. Then you complete the 3rd level, and you unlock Oddsock, and then you play as him in a boss level, and there's a level where you're Oddsock and it teaches you the mechanics. Then there's a boss battle that you need to use the mechanics from Oddsock, because he can run and he can jump off walls. So that first boss battle, you have to use wall jumps to get to stuff, and that pattern repeats. Toggle, for example, you press. He's huge, so he can weigh things down, or if he jumps on a switch, you can hold. You know those sort of foamy things you can swing on. There's certain ones of those switches you need to be heavy to pull them down. But press L1 and he switches to tiny toggle, and he's really quick and can do big jumps. But the physics also work. So if you press L1 and you become big toggle, he weighs something down. Hit L1, it bounces back up and he flies in the air. And Swoop, flies, and can swoop if you hold down the button. You can swoop down and stuff.
Okay, and so these aren't just skin changes or anything like that. These are very good additions to the series.
Well, yeah, because Sackboy's also got, they call it Sack Pocket, and you've got 5 weapons or items that basically they're hats. You put hats on, they give you a weapon. I'm not going to spoil them because I think some of them are really cool. But the first one you get is it's like a Hoover almost. You can R1 to blow and L1 to suck, and you move things around like that. The second one is basically a portal gun. Not quite as open-ended as a portal gun. There are specific things you aim at, and when you hit them, you warp to them. So you aim at them, shoot this ball out. As soon as it touches it, you warp there. So you can I hope you can imagine the puzzle solving there. But the ebb and flow again. But Sackboy's the only one that can wear those things. So in the hub levels, there are things like when you get to them first time, you can't get to these things because you haven't unlocked, like, say, Swoop. Once you've unlocked Swoop, you can go around the level flying and getting things you couldn't otherwise. But there are other things that require Sackboy's different hats or weapons to do, yeah?
Yeah.
So that all adds up to like a almost Metroidvania style, like where there are things you need to come back later because you haven't unlocked the particular weapon in that hub. Once you go back later, do you know what I mean?
All right. Well, that's definitely a bit of a change to the series.
Yeah, and it's just joyful. The only major problem I have with this game is the difficulty. I think it's all over the shop. Like, 1 minute you're being given these boring tutorials. It's so dull because like anyone who's had any few years of experience of games knows how to jump in a platformer, you know, and anyone, and it's kind of like if you're buying LittleBigPlanet 3, I kind of think surely you're going to have some experience of the game to get the mechanics, and then the next minute you're playing a boss which is quite difficult, you know, not impossible, but compared to what's come before it, it's actually quite difficult, and the difficulty's all over the shop in that respect.
As in one level could be quite simple and the next one could be very difficult and then the next one very simple.
Yeah, I mean, it does get progressively more steadily difficult. Like, as you progress through it, the levels get generically more difficult. But the boss battles are always a leap up, but sometimes they're such a leap up. Like, I was playing with my eldest and it was fine. You know, we were doing 2-player, no problem, and then suddenly the boss battle, and he just could not do it. It was just too much. He was not used to it. But, you know, apart from that, I mean, to most people, to you or I, that's probably not a big issue, but it is an issue, you know?
Yeah. No, the main issue,
yeah,
speaking of issues, that people have with LittleBigPlanet is that it's a platformer, but in the pantheon of platformers, not actually a very, very good platformer because the physics are a bit floaty. Are they improved in this?
Yes,
okay.
They're better. They are still prone to moments of frustration. Do you know that thing where you think you've pressed jump, but you haven't at the right time and you just run off the ledge? That's still there. It's less pronounced. I found less frustration generally. I mean, you can go in and out of the world. I find it all a little smoother, a little easier to go in and out of the multiple planes. But the platforming is better, I think, but it's not incredible. But it's improved. I feel the jumps a little more responsive, but again, like I say, you still will hit jump button a little too late sometimes, even though you probably feel you didn't do it too late, you know?
Yeah. Have you dabbled with the creation tools? Are they different in any way?
Well, there's this mode. I forget what it's called. It's called Pop-It something mode, and it's like a Pop-It puzzle, I think it is. And there are basically more levels aside from the story where it kind of. To complete these levels, you have to use the create mode, like you have to make a bridge to get across somewhere. And I think the idea of that is to sort of bridge the gap between creation and playing. And it kind of works, because it did make me go like, I think this might be the year I actually create. I won't. I definitely won't. I'm just not that kind of person. But it made me think I would. And the kids like that as well, because it's, hate to say it, Minecraft, you know what I mean? But
completely.
It's definitely that. There is a big gap. You have to create. You have to use one of your gadgets or your Pop-It menu to create a bridge and progress forward. And that's, I think, a clever way of bridging the gap between playing and creating. I don't know if it'll work because, as I say, it made me want to, but I know I haven't got the time or it really got it in me to be that creative with the game.
Right, okay. But you do see people, I mean...
Oh, they make incredible stuff.
Yeah, all the other games have. I mean, some of the stuff that people produce is unbelievable.
It is, and the thing is they always say like we made the game's levels with this creation tool, and some of the levels in this are so incredible. I find it hard to believe that's true.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an element of truth, but I don't know. I mean, we haven't even talked about the voice acting because it's incredible. Like, the game's fully voiced, and like Tara Strong's in there, and I won't say who she plays but her character's great. Like, it's such a Tara Strong character to play. Hugh Laurie is superb. It's just a lovely package of a game, and I went into it expecting it to be kind of more LittleBigPlanet, and to begin with it kind of is, but as you start playing more and more you realise this is actually not only more LittleBigPlanet but the best LittleBigPlanet. And again, that's a weird thing to say when Sumo have developed it, not Media Molecule.
Indeed it is, but I'm glad that you have enjoyed your time with it, Adam. And of course all the viewers can go to to the website and read your full thoughts on the game, of course.
Absolutely, do that.
I want it down and racing how to bury me.
Wearing tan shoes with pink shoelaces.